Hey everybody, good morning. Welcome to the Pivot Shift Ahead Mastermind. It's your friend James Shaw. We are back and better than ever in Safety Harbor, Florida, where it is currently 64 degrees, a high of 80. This is not what I experienced yesterday in the Twin Cities, where it was 5 below 0 when I went to the event. It was a 13 degrees when I flew home. They said it warmed up. I don't know if you can tell the difference between 5 below and 13. And, I grew up in Indianapolis, so you would think I could kind of remember this stuff, but no. No, I've been gone from there for a long time. But we're back home. Going to be 80 today in Safety Harbor, which is great. So good to see all of you. Thank you for being here. Has it been a good week? Has it been a good week here inside the Pivot Shift Ahead? Put it in the chat. Has it been a good week inside the Pivot Shift Ahead? We had kicked off on Monday our 15-day business plan. And boy, have you liked it. I mean, we have hit 1,000 every day. I'm curious if we'll do it today because Friday is usually our least attended day because I don't know why. You take Fridays off? I don't know. And so I'm excited about what you're doing and what we're talking about. And it's all about helping you set up for 2026 because we're down counting today, 11 calls left in the year. And then we take 2 weeks off. And so I want to help you, get ready. I said something yesterday. I was so much fun with the North Central region. Olivia, who's the RD there, is so great. I love her. And I said, what if instead of finishing strong, you finish rested? Like, what if in feeling like you had to jam all of the things that you wish you had done earlier this year into the next 11 days, and instead finish rested, and then I think now I would add, and ready. Let's finish rested and ready. And the way we finish rested and ready is you still do the things you're supposed to do in the business that you have right now. We're not off, right? You still got stuff to do in the business and you've got, the number of days you're going to work this month and all that kind of stuff. But what if you didn't try to cram in everything that you were behind in the next 25 days that we have in the year and the next 11 days on the call, and instead you finish rested and ready? And that's what this particular series is about, is to help you be rested and ready. We're chunking it down. And look, I got accused once of oversimplifying everything. And you know what? I take that as a compliment. I take it as a compliment because I think we like to make things complicated and I like to simplify and simplify. And so we are going to simplify and make things really easy, so easy that you can't fail. And so today at the top of the hour in 20 minutes, we are going to talk about having a daily contact standard. And I'll give you a pro tip. Like, this is not, we're going to be like 20 contacts a day, you get a foul. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. For most of you, your daily contact standard is significantly smaller than that. But the challenge is you don't quite know what it is or how to figure it out. And so that's what we're going to do today. Now, Monday, here's what we did. We did figure out a goal that has meaning and purpose. Folks, if the goal has no meaning and no purpose at all, you will not do it. You will feel guilty when you get behind in it. It'll just be obnoxious and annoying. I met a great agent yesterday named Chad in Minneapolis, who this year's goal was 100 units. And I just asked him, how did you come up with 100 units? And he just looked straight at me and said, pull it out of thin air. And I said, well, how did you do this year? How did the team do? We're going to do 65-ish deals. Oh, I missed it. 67 deals. Oh, he's going to do like 65 deals. Corey did not like that. He's going to do 65 deals. That's a huge win for his team, but it's short of this goal of 100. And that's because he just made it out of thin air. And I said, well, what's the goal for next year? And he's like, I want a 30% increase. And I go, hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right. Like, what if we just stopped for a minute and said, what is the meaning and purpose behind this 100? What if you don't need to grow it by 30%, which you already didn't make it up anyway? So now we're talking like a 50% increase in business. And what if we just figured out what's really the goal? So that was Monday's call. Figure out a goal that has purpose and meaning. Tuesday's call was figure out the process that's going to help you get to the goal. And man, this is an area that I think we definitely lack clarity on. We're going to have to do more on it. Good news. We have Brad Stolberg, who is the creator of this. Brad Stolberg is all about this. He's going to be back inside of Pivot in January and Inspire. He's doing an Inspire call with us and a Pivot call with us in January to help us get focused on process. And so we went all in on process. And then, of course, yesterday we talked about database. we've got to go all in on the database. We've got to make sure that we're in a flow with the database, that we're communicating with them not just when they need us, but also when they don't. Which then takes us to today, which is having a daily contact standard. If we're going to communicate with a database, and a lot of you claim that you're doing the DTD2, but you're lying. You're not actually doing it. And so, oh yeah, I know what it is. But are you running that play? That's the simplest play and the easiest way to create leads in your pipeline is running that DTD2. And so today we're going to talk again about the how does a daily standard fit into that. Of course, I want to remind you that all of this stuff you got to do it in a way that is in alignment with TCPA laws, right? I don't want you getting in trouble and breaking the laws and all that kind of stuff. You got to do it in a way that's friendly with that. But as long as you stay within your TCPA friendly compliant way and you figure out what's your daily standard, I think you will be fine. But don't feel like you have to fit it all in right now. So let's go kind of put a bow on our conversation yesterday about database. I gave you the common mistakes that we make about database. I talked about how important it is to get into a regular flow with them. So get your hands up and share with me, those of you that didn't share yesterday, what was an aha you had? Did you do something different yesterday? What are you doing to stay in flow and connection with your database? And Dean, I see your hand, but I really want, we've had 1,000 people on every day. I want to hear from people I haven't heard from this week. Like, get your hand up if I haven't heard from you this week, because I want you to shout from the rooftops what you're learning and what you're doing. And I applaud those of you that raise your hands always quickly to support this community. And I want to get fresh voices in today. Masha, good morning in Chapel Hill.
Good morning from Chapel Hill, where the threat of sleep shuts down the schools for 3 hours.
Oh, no school today in the Triangle.
Well, just a delay.
Okay, all right.
Interesting. So yeah, so we just finished, myself and my two VAs, we just survived our Blessing Basket Friends gathering. And I have in the middle of getting our Popeyes ready for this week. And I've been writing thank you notes to all of the families that came to our events this year, and specifically this last one. I have 25 left to go today. And usually I'll send something out from AM cards, or I'll write the same message by hand to the same people, and it's very generic. And I'm being extraordinarily intentional in writing these notes this time. Personal comments, conversations we had while we were at the events, and sending them out. And I'm making it a practice now, thanks to my coach, to do this after every event and every communication that I have with someone, so that I can remain somebody valuable in their life outside of just the transaction.
Masha, I hope you're going to be on Tuesday's Inspire Call, because we're doing the 75 plus touch plan to the database. We're going to build all of that kind of together. It's a live mastermind. And, when you host an event, that's a great way to just put a bunch of touches around it. Like the handwritten note after an event is a really simple touch. It keeps you in their mailbox. Plus, they came and see you. Like, they came out of their way to come to the event and support this. So we should thank them.
It was cold.
Yeah, it was cold in Chapel Hill. And so running some, just the simple handwritten note is a way. And what I love about it is it's not who do you know from church or work that wants to buy a home, sell a home, or invest in real estate. You're thanking them for supporting the community and participating in all that. I love it, Masha.
Thank you.
I encourage handwritten notes. Kelly, good morning in Tallahassee. How are you?
Good morning. I'm actually in North Georgia right now.
Oh, that's exciting too.
But it's beautiful. So number one, I'm so excited about our call next Tuesday about the multi-touch plan. And the reason why is I started DTD2 January of this year and did every single one of them and burnt myself out. And I have stopped every touch that I had, like everyone in my command. So I'm super excited about that. Number two, I do something called gratitude gatherings. So we have 6 gatherings a year, taco nights, cookie making that I'm doing this coming Tuesday. We have apple pickup where I go to North Georgia, pick up apples, and they come and have an apple nacho bar, things like that. So almost every touch that I did this year was around an event. And then Blessing Baskets blew it out of the water, because I had 80 when I talked to y'all, and then we ended up with 313. But that's because I toted that laundry basket of food everywhere I went for 3.5 weeks. So just basically events are awesome.
That's your lane. You're people. You need to be around people. You need to see people. That's who you are, right? There's others that go, events would exhaust me. I'd rather just call people. So that's part of the thing is figure out what works for you, which is one of the things we did this week. Kelly, I think that you also gave us an important lesson that if you don't have the right kind of systems around the plays you're running, it will burn you out. This is why I went back and said, make sure that the strategies you pick, when we talked about doubling down on strategies, which was Wednesday, make sure they're things that work and that you like. Because if you don't like them, it will burn you out over time. Kelly, you need to be in front of people. You need to be around people. I want to hug on you and look at you in the eye person. And so getting on the phone and smiling and dialing is not your jam. That's not going to work for you. So, but if you had an event and now you could call and reach out and text and all that kind of stuff to invite, that would work for you. So it's about knowing what works and what doesn't for you. Kelly, thank you. Cheers. Sorry I'm not going to see you this week, but that's all right. You're a good, awesome person. Dawn Little, good morning to you.
Good morning. So this week has been so many eye-opening experiences. So the first thing was yesterday when we talked about our database and so I started chunking, like really, really, really getting minute because the database, so to speak, I was thinking of it so large and I was focusing so much on the leads that I had in there, the people I didn't know, and trying to reconnect with them, that I was starting to lose track of my people. And when I was reaching out to people to have, because I'm having my first ever client appreciation event this Saturday, when I was reaching out to people, they were like, "Oh, we can't come," and I'm like, "Okay," but then I would find out that one had another baby, one got married, one moved. Like I was finding all these things, and I was like, God darn it, like why didn't I get in touch with them earlier? But I know I drip on them all the time and I talk to them in other ways, but I have to actually call them. So I like started like I'm like, all right, I'm going to call them at least like 3 times a year, even if it's not 4 or 2 times a year. And then I chunk things down to where I know how many contacts I need to make now. I've been tracking since August. I've been getting my stuff done. And I was always worried that people wouldn't show up at events if I had them. But now it doesn't bother me because I know it's all about the touches. And I just wrote notes to remind myself to send handwritten ones after the event. And then it's just all about like just loving on my people because I'm so much better in front of people that I'm going to focus now way more on open houses because that's where my lead source is. Like I just saw we got a house under contract just a week and a half ago with somebody I met at an open house. And it's just that's what I need to do. And I have to make up my numbers, which I've been doing. And I also chunked down my lead gen time. So instead of sitting at the computer for 2 hours, which I can't do because I don't have the capacity to do that and it gets boring and then I don't do it, is that I'll do it for like 45 minutes or half an hour and then I go do something else and I come back. So I lead gen all day long, but it's in very small increments. So I can get my double digits that I need to get that I'm supposed to do. And then I have people call me out of the blue. I have somebody this morning that I'm taking out now because she called me out of the blue because I've been touching on everybody instead of doing like all the big fancy events and all that stuff. And I've been really digging into my neighborhood too. So I know exactly what I need to do for 2026.
You're figuring out what works, which is really important. I think this sit down and put on your seatbelt and lead generate from 9 to noon stuff, for most of you, that's dead. I think you can lead generate whenever you want. And if you, again, build a system and have a daily contact standard and know what your plays are, then as long as you run those, I don't care when you do them. You can sit on the couch at night, watch Only Murders, and send messages. It doesn't matter to me. Dawn, thank you. Great share. Cheers to you. It's been a huge growth year for you, so I'm super proud of you. Heather, good morning.
Good morning. So, I want to tell you, I have the best maps coach in the world. And one of the things that she's really adamant about is vertical integration and pulling my pillars together. So we've worked really hard over the past few years to figure out what are the pillars of my business. And one that is super strong for me, and you'll notice that I have them up here. So we'll go that way, my real estate, I have the Chamber of Commerce, and I have Buck Off Coffee. And what that means is that I'm pulling those three together every way I possibly can. And by that, I mean, I just held a vision board workshop at my chamber and pulled in some of our information and some of what we did together from your amazing time that we were together for Advance. And what I did was I talked about okay, I want you to come up with 2 adjectives and a noun because I want that to be your filter for the year. And we went through, so mine is strategic, caring business leader. That's who my focus is for this year. And it gives me the ability to say, does it go through that? But my point is this. Figure out what works for you and pull those pieces together and share the knowledge from one to the other because we have such an amazing community with great ideas. I mean, Early Birds Talking Real Estate this yesterday or the day before was talking about this fantastic little magnet to put on the washing machine that has stain removal. And I was like, oh, heck yeah. And I'm thinking to myself, no one's going to pull that off. I'm going to put that in every single house that I ever have up for sale because they're never going to pull it off of the washing machine. And like 47 generations later are still going to have my name on that washing machine. So I went instantly on, said, please, please send that to me. They sent it to me. I changed it to Canva, sent it, I mean, same day, like done and wonderful. Like you guys are amazing and pour into this community and share with one another because, and then share it out to everybody else. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Good for you. You're figuring it all out. I'm so proud of you. That's well done. I love in the chat, someone asked, do we have a vision board event playbook? What do you think is the answer to that? What do you think is the answer to that, folks? Yes, we do have we do have one. Avi, Jennifer Rice. We did a whole Wednesday webinar on it on a Wednesday. It was actually Wednesday, January 24th, 2024. We did a Wednesday webinar on it with Authorine. And we have a playbook on how to do it. It's in the portal, Inspire members. So I love that you asked the question. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. And Heather, I love your share. No, I'm not shaming anyone. I'm proud of you for asking. I'm proud of you for asking. Latoya Black, you're next. We're talking about our database flow and talking to them and all that jazz. As we prepare for in just a minute, we'll talk about having a daily contact standard. Latoya?
Good morning. So right now I'm getting ready for my largest client appreciation event, which I have named Birthday Client Appreciation Event. I figured out how to celebrate my birthday and my clients, which my birthday's tomorrow. Shameless plug.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Who do you share it with?
My family.
No, I mean like who else has the same birthday as you?
I don't know.
We need to look that up. All right, Latoya, yeah. I'm sorry, I sidetracked you. Go ahead.
No problem. Okay, so I'm getting ready for my client appreciation event. So I'm calling my vendors, and also with my client appreciation event, I combine it with a gift drive for the kids at the local children's home. So I'm reaching out, calling the database, getting sponsors, and also, I'm sending out holiday cards at this time. And normally when I send out the holiday cards, that's when I find out either somebody done moved or I need to update my database.
That's when we find stuff out. We got to stay in a flow with them. Happy birthday to you, Latoya. I'm looking it up. There are not a lot of great birthday buddies tomorrow for you.
Well, that's great. I don't really like birthday
It's really your birthday because I'm looking at the list and I mean, there's not a lot of people that get me excitable, except for you. Happy birthday.
Thank you, sir.
Lisa Rhodes, good morning.
Here we go. Good morning. Thank you, James, for calling on me. Staying in the flow. Well, we just had our annual pie giveaway, and I do something different with my pie giveaway because we make them from scratch. And the people that are in my VIP list actually get an invitation to pick their pie, pecan or apple. And I have 3 grown daughters and my sister, and we have pie making day, and we make pies for about 9 hours. And this year we invited my VIPs to come to my house and pick up their pie. And it was so great to have them come to my home and pick them up. And we do apple and pecan. And so we stay in the flow that way. I do blessing baskets, birthday cards, anniversary cards, and we do a Halloween event. And so just staying in touch with my people that way. And so it's just a blessing to have clients that you can love on. And I'm doing pop buys because of the pivot shift and the wrapping paper idea. I'm going to be popping by about 90 clients to give them, wrapping up the year. Thank you for helping with my success, and I hope this helps you wrap up your gifts this year. So I am doing that. So this community with the pivot shift is always pouring into each other and helping each other be successful. So that's what I'm doing to stay in touch with my um, VIPs and my clients to stay top of mind.
Lisa, I'm proud of you. That's what we talked about yesterday is our database segmented in the right way, so we're doing the right things for the right people. I love you're doing a gift wrap event. Folks, guess what? We did a Wednesday webinar on that. This past Wednesday, 2 days ago. There's a playbook for it for Inspire members. It's in the chat. LaKayla, you get the last one.
Good morning, James. Good morning, everyone. So what I did recently as pop buys on Black Friday, which normally I don't get caught up in that, Home Depot has poinsettias for 125, and I bought about 50, and I've had so much fun this week going around and have had the best conversations and connections with past clients and VIPs. And last night I got a pleasant surprise. I stopped at one young man's house, and this lady comes to the door, and I'm like, wow, she looks just like her mom. It was Robin Nilsson, and it was actually Robin Nilsson. Robin had come back into town to hang out with her son. So it's fun. You never know who you're going to bump into.
You mean you just randomly ran into Robin?
Yes. I mean,
Not
I
knowing
knew.
that it was her son's house?
No.
Oh, okay.
Listen, James, listen,
Well, I'm
listen.
trying
So
to listen, but I get
I
confused.
went to her son's house
You went to Robin's
that I
son's house,
sold.
but Robin
Yeah,
was there.
that I
Okay,
sold.
that's a
Yes, that I
little
sold.
less exciting, but
And
I was
so,
like,
no,
woo!
And so her daughter lives there. His sister lives with him, and I hadn't ever met her. I kept saying, "Oh, I got to meet her." And so here this lady's coming to the door, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, the daughter looks exactly like
Mm.
Robin. Oh my gosh, it is Robin."
Oh, that's so fun. LaKayla, I love it. Here's the thing about the database is we can communicate with them any way we want. You do not have to sit down in a chair, buckle your seatbelt, and smile and dial. Like you can do that too.
No, it needs to be fun. I like being out. Hey, James, it's
Exactly.
snowing in the 757.
Oh, is it? How about that?
Yes.
I'm coming to Baltimore on Tuesday. So I don't know. Is there snow in Maryland, D.C. right now in the DMV? Put it in the chat. Is there snow in the DMV?
They said yes. And did you
Yeah.
figure out what's different between a -5 and 15? Did you figure out the difference?
Not much. Feels about the same to me. All right, there we go. Thank you, LaKayla. All right, let's flip it up now then. So now we're going to move into this piece that we do about step 5, which is know what your daily contact standard is. We're going to do that next here inside Pivot Shift Ahead. And if you're just joining us, thank you so much. Some of you are like, woo, I got on the Zoom today because there's 49 spots left because it's Friday. And we always have room on the Zoom on a Friday. So thank you for being here. Before we do it though, 2 quick tell me something good. You only get 2 people a day and 1 opportunity a month. So you got to use it judiciously. Louise Weiss, good morning.
I'm glad to be called on my birthday week. My birthday was Wednesday, December 3rd, and I would just like to shout out all of the amazing people that sent me cards, gifts, voicemails, video mails, emails, social media. I haven't even gotten to it all. I'm going to enjoy that this weekend. I just want to say thank you. I felt so loved, and I am so grateful. And thanks.
Well, and you are loved, and we are grateful for you. And Luis, there's the one question everyone wants to know, and that is,
Yes, I
did
wore
you
my
mail
sticker.
yourself a birthday sticker?
I didn't mail it myself, but I did wear one.
I'm
Yeah.
so proud of you. See, Louise, if she has your birthday, she's going to mail you a birthday sticker for you to wear. So that's what we wanted to know. Louise, thank you so much. Eva Gonzalez, we'll keep it in South Florida. Good morning.
If I don't know what your address is, I'm going to mail your card to someone whose address I do know that knows you.
Like she
You
did
know
for
what I'm
Nadine for
talking
this
about.
week, as Nadine's birthday is on the 31st. All right, go ahead, Eva Gonzalez. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Happy birthday, Luis. And I will also be celebrating my birthday next week in Peru. So we're leaving today to Peru. And what happens when you go on a trip? You get busy. So we have 3 listings and 1 when we come back. So it's amazing. And also we did our client events and we did a big event that we usually do, but because of the trip, we had a small one. So it kind of like turned out to be a micro event. And we did senior gifts, and we collected as much as we do when we have a big event. So that was amazing.
Oh, that's cool.
Thank you for letting me share.
Have a great trip. Enjoy it. You deserve it. It's true. All right. If you plan a trip, You're going to get some business, some business. It's going to start rolling in like this. So you should go on trips more often. Speaking of trips, you did see the information about Advance 2026. Advance 2026 is in October. I think we'll probably on Monday open up tickets for people who were at Advance this year. Then Tuesday, we'll do our interest list. So if you didn't go to Advance and you're not on the interest list, you got to get on there. I'll put the link in the chat, but it's advance.jamesdshaw.com. I'll put the link in the chat. But the Advance is our annual business planning event. This year was the best we've ever done, period. Next year is going to be even elevated because we're adding a full, we're making day 2 a full day and all these different things. So we'll look at about 400 or so, maybe stretch it to 450 in 2026 because I don't want to turn people away. Like if somebody came to me and said, it's too big. I said, who's not supposed to be here? I let you in. Why don't I let them in? So we're going to fit as many people as we can in that space who want to come. So advance.jamesdshaw.com if you want to be on the updated list. Those of you who were there this year, you'll all be guaranteed an opportunity to get a ticket because we'll have enough seats. If 100% of you come back, you'll have a seat. We'll give you a day's notice on signing up. All right, so let's get into what we've been covering, which is this whole piece about having your business plan ready to go. Now, if you're just joining us, I said at the top of the call that there's a lot of people that run around and tell you you need to finish strong and go all in and get after it at the end of the year. And my thought is, actually, what if you finished rested and ready? What if instead of push, 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 go, 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 in a time of year that this is arguably the busiest month of the year, May is probably the second busiest month of the year. Why are we trying to push, push, push and finish strong when you also have 8 million other things going on? What if you finished rested and ready? And that's what this whole series is about. Is look, whatever issues you had in your business this year, you're not going to fix in the next 15 days anyway, or 20 days, or whatever we got left in the year, 25 days. You're not going to fix it. But what you can do is start making decisions that impact April and May and June by getting that plan together, getting purposeful about what you're doing and running that play. And so we've laid it up all week. We've talked about set a goal that has purpose and meaning. We've talked about having the right process, for the goal. We've talked about making sure that you have the right lead flow mapped together based on using strategies that work for you. Yesterday was all about how we communicate with the database and what we do there. And so today I want to talk about standards. Specifically daily contact standards. Because, remember I said earlier this week that the market doesn't determine your success, it determines your strategy. And part of your strategy has to be to make a daily contact standard. Now, if you look around the country, you have parts of the country where the market's still pretty hot, things are still moving pretty quickly, days on market's relatively low, and you're getting multiple offers. And most of those places are in the Midwest and in the Northeast. And then the rest of the country, the West and the South, are not like that. Market's a little bit slower. Days on market is up. You have about 100 markets in the country, like a third of the top 300 markets in the country have actually seen year-over-year price declines. In the markets where prices are still appreciating, you're actually seeing appreciation slow and are actually, while they're still appreciating, are below the trend that we look for, a 4% annual trend. So what happens when a market changes like that is that your daily activities become exposed. See, when the market is hot and everything is selling, you succeed not only because of what you do right, but also in spite of what you do wrong. But when the market changes, those things that you're doing wrong all of a sudden become exposed. They've always been issues in the business, but the market has been moving so quickly that you didn't see them. And then when the market slows down and gets a little bit tougher, those challenges start to pop up. Well, I think the biggest challenge we have is not being consistent in our daily lead gen standard. Now, I want you to do me a favor. If you're on with us live, you can do this in the chat. If you're listening to the recording on the podcast or watching the recording on YouTube, maybe just jot it down on a piece of paper. But I want you to put down, what is your daily contact standard right now? If I were just going to sit with you and we're doing a little interview about your business and I say, what is your daily contact standard? How many contacts do you have to make a day in the business? Put it in the chat for me. And I'm seeing all sorts of numbers. 10, 5, 30, 6, 20, 9, 10, 10, 5. Somebody put 0, not the correct answer. 10. Okay, so all these things. Somebody said 1 appointment. That wasn't my question. I didn't ask about what's your appointment standard. I said, what is your contact standard 20. Okay, perfect. All right, this is good. This is good. This is good. Great. 7. Perfect. Now, put in the chat a thumbs up or thumbs down. Did you hit that standard yesterday? Put in the chat a thumbs up or thumbs down. Did you hit the standard yesterday? And I see thumbs up and thumbs down. It's 50-50 right now. It's 50-50. Thumbs up and thumbs down. See, the thing we have to remember about a standard is the least that you will settle for. The least that you'll settle for. So if you told me just a moment ago in the chat that your standard was 10, but yesterday you did 5, then your standard isn't 10. Your standard is 5 because you settled for 5. So what I desire for you to come up with is, what is the standard? There's no such thing as a minimum standard. By definition, the standard is the minimum. So I want you to come up with what is the actual standard. And we've got to make sure that this is about consistency and not intensity. Like it's not, okay, I'm way behind, I got to go do 50 contact. No, just figure out what is your standard. So you have a choice. You can set a goal that is convenient, set a standard rather that's a convenient number, or a realistic one. And you're like, well, what's the difference, James? What's the difference between a convenient number and a realistic number? Convenient sounds good. Realistic is what you'll actually do. Convenient sounds good. Realistic is actually what you'll do. Some of you are giving me your convenient standard, 20, because it sounds good. When realistically you might do 5. Now the other thing to think about is, are you making up the standard? You know, we talked on day 1 about creating a goal that has purpose and meaning. The goal has to mean something for you to achieve it, creating your process. Well, your process has to then ultimately take you to the goal. It can't be a made-up process. There has to be some science behind it, some data behind it to help you figure it out. So are you making up the standard like, oh, I think I can do 5? Or is 5 actually the number that will allow you to accomplish what it is that you want to accomplish? So we created a tool for you. Inspire members, you'll have access to this tool inside the portal a little bit later today. If you're at Advance, you already have access to this tool, and that is the database calculator. It's time for the calculator. So I'm going to show it to you and let you take a look at it, this database calculator. And I don't have time to explain all of the stuff in here, but what you really just need to know is if you go in and put in right here where it says total METs in your database and it says you say 400 METs, you go down to the bottom and here's your daily contact standard. You want to get through all 400 people in the database every quarter, it's 7 a day. And that 7 a day, by the way, up here it'll tell you what your GCI would be based on that. But this is, if you go, all right, I don't have that many, I have 250 people. Perfect, no problem. Your daily contact standard is 4. So are you basing it in reality or are you making it up? So Inspire members, you have access to that calculator inside the portal. It'll be there probably around 10 o'clock Eastern time today. Or if you were at Advance, it's in the Advanced Google Drive. So you can go pull it up there. But commit to something that you'll actually do that isn't convenient, but based in reality, that is in alignment with your goal. And then the decision you have to make is, it's a standard. And a standard means it gets done, no matter what. A standard is the least that you'll do without freaking out. Let's talk about it. What's on your mind this morning? Elaine, good morning.
Good morning. So I've been doing the 12-week year for a long time, and I started doing it with groups at the at my market center, dealing with younger people that are new in the business, people that are seasoned. And I understand what you're saying about the standard, but if you're going to be in a normal type of appointment-based solo agent type of situation, I'd recommend your standard be weekly, because you're going to have those days where you're going to fail. And the worst possible thing that I've found with the people that I've coached in the market center with the 12-week year is when you fail, you sort of like lose heart. So if you're going to have a standard, I'd say if you're going to be making 20 calls a day, make your standard in your head 100 that week. Because if you miss 2 days, you're going to feel like a failure 2 days. But if you, at the end of the week, do your 100 calls, boom, you've won. So that's all I want to say. Yes, I understand the standard, but I would recommend making the standard weekly.
Yeah, thank you for that perspective. I think what everyone on this call needs to do is make a decision that would looking at it weekly help you or hurt you. I think there's some people like you, Elaine, that would really help because you can kind of space out and you know what your days look like. I think for others, that would be a problem. You know, in fact, Lainey just sent me this via text. I love Lainey. She said, I run every day for 15 minutes, and if I miss a day, I add 15 minutes to the next day. This has truly been a game changer because tomorrow I'm supposed to run for 3 months. And I think it's funny too, Vincent. I think it's funny too. So, Lainey, it's a great share. This is a great idea, Elaine, and if it works, it works. What happens if you get too far behind, it'll snowball. So then the other option is just make a decision that we're not going for perfection here, that some days are going to get away, but it's the day after perfect that is the make or break day for any goal or standard. The day after perfect is the make or break day for any goal or standard. So that if you said your standard was 7 and you did 7 today but didn't do 7 tomorrow, just do 7 the next day. You can choose to roll it over like Elaine's telling you, or you could choose to say, yeah, you can get after it tomorrow. If your standard is 0 chai lattes in a day, and one day you fall backward and have 3, then just the next day go back to 0. Maria Sims, good morning.
Good morning. I think I'm about 15 years behind on my running then, Lainey, so don't feel bad.
Have fun.
Okay, so I love a standard, and I think we look at like your effort has to equal your outcome, right? And one of the things that I see people falling into a trap, and I fall into too, a lot of times it's knowing the right people that you're supposed to be talking to, and understanding that if you're doing lead prospecting, you're not going to be counting the people that you're following up with that's current clients, right?
That's right.
You've got to find the new business that's going to move you forward. So really understanding in your mind, who am I going to call if my standard is 5 new leads, right? Make sure that those are actually 5 new people and they're not follow-up calls. Because when I call my VIP, I have a different standard for my VIP touches each day, where I'm saying, hey, I love you. How you doing? How's the babies? And then I have a different standard for the new leads that I've actively got to find to put in the database. So I would just say be clear, because we get caught up and then we're like, well, gosh, I've been making all these calls. But have you been talking to the right people, and have you been using the right script, and all of those things that are so important?
You're exactly right. You nailed it. We'll talk about this in our 75 plus touch mastermind for Inspire members next week, where we're going to communicate with people in different ways. Maria, I think you'll appreciate this. I remember once when I was working on Jana's team and I was doing the accountability with the buyer agents. I remember this one buyer agent had all of these showing appointments. I'm like, this is amazing. You have all these like buyer appointments that you're doing. Tell me about all these people you're working with. And she's like, well, I took Sally and Joe out on Monday, and then I took Sally and Joe out again on Tuesday, and then Sally and Joe and I went out again on Wednesday. So there was 3 appointments right there. I go, that's one. That's one appointment. If you might take them out multiple times, but you can't have more than one appointment with the same buyer. And your database is the same way. If you're just doing a general check-in with a deal that's under contract or something, that's not a contact. A contact is a check-in with the database or something like that. Maria, great share. Lee Corey is back and better than ever. Hold on, Lee. I got to mute everybody because we got people off mute. Now we go. Lee Corey is back and better than ever. Good morning, Lee.
Good morning. It's good to be back. Thanks, Maria. I get in the weeds with that as well in terms of the type of contact. However, just looking at the standard, and you guys know there's 2 different people in our team, and one of us is more C oriented than the other. And he designed this little cookie sheet and kind of held my feet to the fire that I have to complete it every day. And now it's just a habit and I do it. The great thing about though tracking and the path is in the math is sometimes you make calls and you thought you had a good day and you don't get the check mark that you spoke to somebody, but then they call you back the next day. So then you get to go back and say, okay, I did make 10 calls and I did connect with 6 of them because 3 of them called me back, So it's consistency over time. I guess that's really the key. But
It is.
also tracking it and just knowing that you did what you were supposed to do makes you feel good at the end of the day
It
too.
sure does. I mean, it's great when they check back in with you too. We get to count that as a contact. It's perfect. The Paul Corey's Girl Scout cookie tracker. It's not a Girl Scout. It just looks like the old school Girl Scout cookie order form. But Paul Corey's tracker, if you really want to get deep in it, you have access to that as an Inspire member. So Inspire members, you can go in the portal. It's part of our advanced digital course. So we did this as a online business planning clinic 2 years ago. It's under Inspire included courses, advanced digital, and you'll see we did an interview with Paul on how to use it. Then Paul did his own video going into more detail on how to use it, and the tracker is there. So if you're now, you need to love spreadsheets and tracking and all that kind of stuff. If you'd rather just do hash marks, you're not gonna like the tracker. But if you really want to know where the business is coming from, you want immense clarity, that's a great tracker, and Inspire members, you have access to it. Lee, thank you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Kay Condon, good morning.
Hey, good morning, James. Thank you. So I want to give a quick shout out to my team leader, Bill Parker. He has a store, market center down in Dunedin, Florida too, but he's our team leader here. He has been working with me, coaching with me in the last 6 weeks and helping me to focus on not the squirrel, the bright, shiny thing. This comes up there's so many things that come up in our groups, but I've really doubled down on doing my lid. I've created my P&L for my business the last 3 or 4 months doing that. I've got my LLC set up and a bank account, really focusing on creating a business rather than just selling houses out of my back pocket like I have been. And it really made me realize that I really do need 5 intentional contacts a day, and 10's easy. It doesn't mean I'm going to stop at 5, but when you stop making up your numbers, which I always did before this, I'm going to get 36 this year. That sounds like a good number. I was one of those people. Now I know what my real number is, and it's so much more effective, and it takes the stress off your brain. I don't need to call 20 people a day. I don't need to do everybody has their own style of what they're going to do. And I'm calling it this year for 2026, clean up your database too. Because there's, go through, pick 5 a day and go through them and call each person, get the information, get the people out of there that are taking up space that we're not going to talk to, that don't want to hear from us, that might have been some cold lead from a Facebook lead, 4 years ago.
Yep.
Clean it up and take the time. When you really know your numbers based on your bank account and what it's really costing, it's a lot easier than we're making it sound in our mind. And I capped yesterday. I'm so excited.
Cheers to you, Kay, on that. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yesterday's we talked about cleaning up the database and how to do it. So if that's something you want to do, is clean it up and kind of take some people out, go back and listen to yesterday's call and it will help you do that. All right, so this has been a good week. We have started our 15-day business plan, 5 days in the books. We're back on Monday. On Monday, build a listing heavy plan for 2026. Monday, we're going to move now. We've moved out of the goal part and the process part and lead gen part. Now we're into the listings part. Wonder if this follows some kind of model. We're going to go build a listing heavy plan for 2026. Somebody asked for the advanced link. It's advance.jamesdshaw.com. If you want to get on the advance interest list, advance.jamesdshaw.com. Have an awesome weekend. Thanks for being here. You got your inspiration. Go put in the perspiration, and we'll see you Monday. Bye, everybody.